Vrindavan Dham, Vrindavan Dham, Vrindavan Dham, Vrindavan Dham. Jayo Shri Vrindavan, Shri Vrindavan, Shri Vrindavan, Jai Shri Vrindavan.
Krishna tells in Gita that one can only overcome the three modes of material nature by taking shelter of Him. Because Mayadhyakshena Prakriti, the modes of material nature are working under His direction. He is the supreme controller of all controllers. But yet, when Srimati Radharani glances from the side of her lotus-like eyes in the direction of Shyam Sundar, his heart is conquered. Prabodhananda Saraswati explains how simply by the sidelong glance of Srimati Radharani, Krishna becomes so infatuated by her love that he drops his flute. His crown and peacock feather fall to the ground, and he doesn't even know it. Krishna is conquered only by love. And whatever love is within the heart of any living entity, we should understand it is infinitesimal part and parcel of Srimati Radharani's love. And even that infinitesimal little part and parcel has the power to conquer Krishna. So the full-fledged, ultimate source of all love, Srimati Radharani, what is her power? Her power is manifested in this world in the form of her compassion. And that is why we have come to Barsana today, to pray at the lotus feet of Sri Radharani for her compassion. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains so nicely how even Krishna cannot understand the love of Sri Radha. He's thinking in his own heart that I am the reservoir of all pleasure. I am Rasaraj. But yet, the happiness that Srimati Radharani experienced when she sees me is tens and millions of times greater than my own happiness. So this was his mystery. He appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna with the complexion and the emotions of Srimati Radharani, for three principal purposes: to understand the nature of Radharani's love, to understand the wonderful sweetness of his love that she tastes, and to understand the joy she experiences when she tastes the sweetness of his love. There is a beautiful story told by our Goswamis how Krishna was trying to fathom this mystery. He wanted to understand, what is this happiness that you experience, Srimati Radharani, when you taste the sweetness of my love? Sri Radharani, she explained, you cannot understand. It's not possible. Unless you take my position. Therefore, for you to get a glimpse of the happiness I experience in tasting your love, I will accept your form, and you should accept my form. So Radharani went into Kunja, and Lalita Vishaka dressed her exactly like Krishna. And Krishna assumed a form of Radharani. And then Srimati Radharani, in form of Krishna, played her flute. How sweetly she played her flute. It was a full moon night, and the ambrosial melody, which was emanating from the love of her heart, was pouring through the holes of the flute into the sky. And the full moon practically fell from the sky. Meanwhile, Krishna in Radharani's form, when he heard, or when she heard, this fifth note of Venu, the flute of Krishna, he just abandoned everything. Just left everything in all material and spiritual worlds and went running to where Radharani was playing his flute. And then Radharani, in form of Krishna, said, "Oh, you have come into the beautiful moonlight forest of Vrindavan. You have seen the nice moonshine and the malati and malika flowers blooming, and you've seen the nice tamal, kadamba, and bakula trees. And now you're seeing me also, and I'm very pleased. Now you should go home." And Krishna, in the mood and form of Sri Radharani, began to draw curved lines in the dust of the ground with toes, and bashfully looking down, weeping tears, praying, "No, Shamsundar, you cannot send me home. Please, you cannot send me home. I want to be here with you only. Not only you go home." And she explained, you're the life of all lives. By surrendering to you, I've abandoned everything just for your pleasure. And then Krishna, or Radharani in the form of Krishna, began to dance with Krishna in Radharani's form. And they danced so nicely. And then Radharani in Krishna's form disappeared. And Krishna was roaming through the forests of Vrindavan. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? She's asking the trees, and she's asking the deers, and she's asking the insects everywhere. She's asking the sky and the moon, where is Shamsundar? Where is Sri Nandanandana? And then Radharani appears in Krishna's form. And then they dance. And then Radharani said, "Now do you get some understanding?" So this is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna not only internally He's experiencing the sweetness of Radha's love. But why should he do it on this earth planet, in this mundane material universe? Because actually he's also doing it in the spiritual world. There is a place in Krishna Loka where there is Navadvip, where the Lord is eternally performing this pastime. But once in a day of Brahma, he comes in this spirit, not only to taste the sweetness of pure love, but to distribute it. So Lord Chaitanya is Krishna with the mood of Radharani, with the mood of her compassion. Panchatattva broke open the treasure house of love of God, tasted the contents and distributed it profusely. Yes, there is no other way of going beyond the clutches of Maya and entering into the realm of pure devotion except through causeless mercy. And that causeless mercy, the ultimate source, is Srimati Radharani. Prabhupada said when Radharani tells Krishna that this devotee is very nice, she's so humble, she'll say, he's better than me. Hare Krishna. That was not me, that was the... Sometimes I make strange sounds, but I'm not that good. When Sri Radharani appeals for a fallen soul, he is serving my devotee so nicely, please accept him. Krishna must accept him. So how to attract the mercy of Srimati Radharani? That is the most important question in all of existence. And to understand this, Radharani has appeared as Lord Chaitanya to explain it so simple and so nice and so perfectly. Lord Chaitanya identified himself Gopi Bharapur Padakamalaya Das 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 Anudas as the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. Lord Chaitanya taught us that in this age of Kali, Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam kalo nasteva 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 gathiram yatha. There is no other way except the chanting of the holy names. Contemplation, meditation, all of these things are only really possible for one who is offenselessly chanting the holy names. And Lord Chaitanya taught us how to chant the holy names. He gave us a particular instruction and told, take this instruction, put it on the string of the holy name and wear it always. This is very important. This reveals that this particular instruction is utterly inseparable from properly chanting the holy name. Put the holy name on put this instruction on the string of the holy name and wear it on your heart always. And what is that ornament? The ornament that will attract Radha and Krishna to reciprocate with our chanting of their names. Vinadapi sunichena tador ivasihishana amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Unless we understand this, all the other higher subjects of bhakti will remain theoretical and superficial. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshastakam has progressively explained the higher understandings of the Lord. But to enter into those higher understandings, first we have to pass through the gateway of this sloka. To be humble like a blade of grass, tolerant like a tree, ready to offer all respect to others and expect none in return. In that state of mind, Krishna will be pleased to empower us to chant the holy names of the Lord constantly. What does that mean, to chant the holy name constantly? You can't chant the holy name constantly unless you have ruchi, namaruchi, unless you really have a taste for chanting. You can't do it just as an austerity. If you're chanting 100,000 or 200,000 or 300,000 names every day as a matter of discipline, even when you're chanting, your mind will be somewhere else. And as soon as there's the slightest break, your mind will go somewhere else. That means you're not chanting constantly. But when Krishna reveals himself in his name, and you taste the sweetness of the name, you can't stop chanting. How many of us have come to that platform? And yet, we dare to think that we're great devotees? For the heart to be fertile, for the seed of the holy name to really take roots and grow into the fruit of love of God. This is a requirement. Humility like the grass, tolerance like tree, eager to offer all respect to others and expect none in return. We have heard this instruction many times, but we should hear this instruction hundreds of millions and millions of times, because it's actually very difficult to understand. In this world, people are so much motivated and impelled by false ego. Even amongst devotees, we have this previous conditioning. We want a higher position. We want respect. We want prestige. We're envious of somebody else. We're competitive. Competition to inspire one another in a spirit of service and well-wishing is very healthy. But when competition is based on the false ego or envy, it is destructive. This verse is very inconceivable. It completely contradicts material existence and the entire fiber of the society that we live in today. But yet it is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order. And it is our only hope. Therefore, a devotee holds this order as their highest aspiration and goal. Because through acquiring this consciousness, we become receptive to the causeless, inconceivable mercy of the holy name as we chant Hare So we come to Barasana and we hear nice stories, beautiful stories about the enchanting pastimes of Radha and Krishna. It is not meant simply as a form of entertainment where we smile and we laugh. That is nice. But actually, our purpose, Krishna and Radharani perform their Leela on this earth to deeply penetrate our hearts through this sound vibration, to transform our consciousness. And that is only possible when we take very, very seriously this order of the Lord, to be humble like the blade of grass, tolerant like the tree, ready to offer all respect to others and expect none in return, and thus constantly chant the holy name. So as we are roaming through the beautiful forest of Barasana, we should be praying for the dust of the lotus feet of Sri Radha and her devotees. This is the spirit. In Vrindavan, no one can understand what is Vrindavan when there is false ego. Even Rupa Goswami, just to show an example to the world, Jiva Goswami just did some nice service by protecting the reputation of Rupa Goswami by defeating one Ballava also in Rupa Narayan in debate. But Rupa Goswami told him that you did this out of pride. You wanted to defeat someone. Can you imagine how subtle bhakti is? We're supposed to defeat people. But even if we take pride after we defeat them, we could fall down. Anymore. We're told to go out and defeat Mayavad, and defeat materialism, and defeat atheism. And the only possibility of doing it is if we're empowered to do so. And even if we're empowered to do so, when we do it, if we take any credit and become proud, we become disqualified. Rupa Goswami said, Vrindavan is not a place for anyone who has even a single particle of pride in their heart. Hare Krishna. How many of you feel you're worthy of living in Vrindavan? Living in Vrindavan, the qualification isn't to have enough money to buy some land and build a house. That's not living in Vrindavan. Living in Vrindavan is a state of consciousness. Rupa Goswami said to live in Vrindavan, to actually be living in Vrindavan, there cannot even be a speck of false pride in the heart. Trinada Prisunichena Turor Ibasihishna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadhari. If we have this consciousness and we are chanting the holy names, we could be in Vrindavan anywhere we are in this world. But we come to Vrindavan to gain that inspiration. In the association of devotees in this most holy dham, where everything is chintamani, where every tree is kalpavriksha, in this land, we are praying and yearning and longing for that consciousness which we can offer to Sri Sri Radha Shyam Sundar and give them pleasure. Selfless service. Srimati Radharani is the very embodiment of selfless service. And this is what she will bestow upon her devotee if we show our genuine sincerity. Sri Radharani appeared in this world in Raval, Mukhya Ravali. In some Puranas it describes Vrishabhanu was plowing his field and she came out from the ground. And he took her home and offered to his wife Kirtida. But Sri Radharani was appearing to be blind and deaf and dumb. She would not respond to anything. She would not open her eyes or even make a single sound. Actually, previously, Vrishabhanu was living in Bharsana. And Nanda Maharaj was in Nandagaon. But Nanda Maharaj had no children. So they relocated to Gokul Mahavan to be close to Yamuna. And at that time, Vrishabhanu, always wanting to be close to Nanda Maharaj, moved to Raval. And then Gopal appeared to Nanda and Yashoda, and Srimati Radharani appeared. Narada Muni came and worshipped her. And she first opened her eyes only when the beautiful form of Gopal was before the pathway of her glance. And then she cried in ecstasy. For 3 years and 4 months, Nanda Maharaj lived in Mahavan, but so many demons came. Putana, Sakatasura, Trinavarta, Arjuna trees were falling down. So they moved to Vrindavan, and then to Kamyavan, Kelanban, and similarly Vrishabhanu Maharaj with Sri Radharani and his family was moving, and ultimately Nanda Maharaj moved back to Nandagram and Srimati Radharani family came back to Bharusan. On the day of Radhastami, actually the biggest celebration in all of Braj is in this very temple where we are sitting today. I've gone to Raval on Radhastami, and it's not a very big celebration. All the Brajavasis, by the hundreds and thousands, come to Bharusan. It is so very dear and so very sacred to all of the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada explains the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they are always chanting the names of Radharani. Because they know that this is the real essence of perfection. Srimati Radharani is Hare. She can conquer the heart even of Hari, who conquers everything and who conquers everyone, who steals. Krishna is Hari. He steals away all inauspiciousness, steals away all of our attachments, and ultimately steals our heart when it becomes soft like the butter of the gopis. But Srimati Radharani steals Hari, so she is Hare. Thus Sri Chaitanya recommended this Mahamantra, the most profoundly powerful way of approaching Radha and Krishna in this age of Kali, He's chanting with great feeling, very loudly, for the benefit of all living beings. Hare Krishna. So now we will offer our prayers. Offer our prayers that we can overcome egoistic contaminations, that we can overcome superficiality, artificiality that is born of the false ego, and we can genuinely, earnestly and honestly pray to be the servant of the servant of the servant of the Vaishnavas. Because that gentle and sincere desire will attract the mercy of Radha Shyam Sundar. Thank you very much. Jai Jai Shri Now we will have kirtan procession to our next destination. Hare Krishna.